going on, everybody? How is everybody doing? Today we are going to be doing another tier list ranking video, and today I had a good idea to rank each NBA team's future for the next 5-year outlook. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit tough to do just because there's so much change in the NBA from one team's future to the next. Like going into this year, you could say that like the Rockets had like a great future and they've been really bad. But I think like I'm just going to set it into these 6 tiers. I don't know if I'm going to use all of them, but right now we have elite future, really good future, maybe could add a little bit more, but maybe a pick or a young asset. Good future, but could add more. Alright future, can definitely add some more. Either it's their draft picks over time, either it's young players, either it's just finding their identity. A questionable future, which probably will be the bottom tier, because I don't know if we have any Billy King Nets futures, because if you remember them, that was like the worst future a team has ever had. So Sean Marks definitely has like the greatest rebuild of all time, going from no young assets, no picks, to having KD, Kyrie, and James Harden in, what, like a 5-year window? So yeah, a lot can change, because if I made this video in 2016, we would have every team 50 feet of crap, and then the Nets in future outlook, and now look at them, right? So much can change, so this is just going to be an exercise, like, a lot can change. I really don't know. So yeah, just remember this is my opinion. I'm going to take a look at really their draft assets over the next couple of years, and then also take a look at their young players. So first up, we have the Golden State Warriors. I know their pick in 2024 will be going to Memphis, but they do have a really good young core at the moment of James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, Jordan Poole, Moses Moody. Steph is around 33 years old, so you're saying in 5 years he's going to be reaching like Chris Paul age. Clay, I think, will be fine over the next 5 years because he doesn't really rely on his athleticism or his speed. So I think they're going to be fine there. Only thing is like Draymond's going to regress heavy, and maybe Wiggins will still be fine. I don't think he'll be there in 5 years from now. So I'm going to say like good young core, and I feel like there's somebody I'm even missing in that young core. No, Wiseman, Poole, Moody, Kuminga. I guess you could say it's like the main core. And then like they don't have additional first round picks. They do lose a first round pick, so I think it's going to drop it down. And like they don't have like that elite stud for the future. I mean, that could be Kuminga, that could be Wiseman. I think they're going to be a really good future. We'll see if I put them up to elite. Sacramento. I mean, they have Halliburton. They have Davion Mitchell. Fox is still fairly young. We have no idea what's going on with Bagley. They don't have, I don't think they have an additional or they don't lose any of their first round picks over the next couple of years. I think like having Halliburton, like it sucks with Bagley how they just, they messed up that pick so badly. But with Mitchell, Halliburton, and Fox, I think it's good enough where it's a good future with those three. Even Holmes is still on the younger side as well, and we'll figure out what they do with him. He's a little bit on the older side. Barnes is locked in. I mean, like, it's not like a good team still, but like I think it's a good future with that trio of guards, and then they could add more to it, 100%. I mean, they have their draft picks, so we'll see if they can land on it. They might drop down to here. We'll see how I kind of go about this. I think the Magic have a good future as well. I mean, maybe they have a really good future with Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, RJ Hampton, Shimo Kiki, Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Bamba, that additional Bulls pick down the line, that additional Nuggets pick down the line. Yeah, like it's like they don't really have a superstar on their team. Maybe that's Cole Anthony one day, maybe that's Jalen Suggs, maybe that's Franz Wagner, Isaac. But I wouldn't put them in an elite future. But I think they have a really good future just because of their draft capital and their young assets, that they should be a good team in 5 years. If not, they effed up that rebuild. Pacers, questionable future, 100%. I mean, like, Sabonis is still young. Same with Miles Turner. Their backcourt is, I mean, Revert's 26. Brogdon's a little bit on the older side. They just drafted Chris Duarte, who's an old rookie, but he's still young and good. They don't have any additional first-round picks. They whiffed on the Goga Batadze pick. So maybe it's an alright future just because their best player, Sabonis, is, what, 26? Like, LeVert's around that age, Turner's around that age. So 5 years, they could still be in their prime or still play at a really good level. Brogdon, I doubt, is going to be there in 5 years. Duarte should still be there in 5 years. He definitely will be unless they do trade him. They don't have any additional first-round picks, but they might be stuck in purgatory. So I think it's an alright future. They could definitely add more. They are a team that could drop. I don't think I can put them higher than that. Pelicans. They have young assets. Ingram's still young. Zion's still young. I mean, like, and they have a bunch of Bucks and Lakers picks. I mean, they still have young guys around that, like Kyra Lewis, Trey Murphy, Naw, Jackson Hayes. I mean, like, I still think they have a really good future. Like, in 5 years, they have the assets in place to still be a good team as long as they keep Zion Williamson happy, and they have a surplus of draft capital. So, unlike the Warriors and the Magic, I mean, like, you'll still have Steph probably in 5 years if you're the Warriors, and you could say probably Steph could still be better than Zion in 5 years. But, like, then the Magic, both darn good now. New Orleans has more draft picks over the next 5 years. And then you could say that Ingram and Zion are light years ahead of anybody else that's young, around 25, 26 on that roster for Orlando. In 5 years, I mean, Ingram will be older, but Zion's still going to be incredibly young. I think they have a really good future, even though they're not a great team right now. Utah. Utah. Definitely a questionable future. I'm not going to say they have like a Billy King future right now, but they are going to lose their first-round pick in 2022 if it's, I believe, it's like top 5 protected. So they're not going to get their first-round pick this year because they're going to make the playoffs. And then eventually, I think their first-round pick will go to OKC because they got off the Derek Favors contract. That's top 10 protected in 2024. So they're already going to lose 2 future first-round picks. Mike Conley isn't getting any younger. Bojan Bogdanovic not getting any younger. Joe Ingles not getting any younger. They have a very questionable future around Donovan Mitchell. And in 5 years, Gobert is going to be in his 30s, making $40+ million a year. Yeah, that is definitely my first questionable future. I think the Boston Celtics, I mean, like, Tatum and Brown are so young. They have a good future. I mean, like, they might have an elite future around those two guys because as long as they keep Tatum and Brown happy, they're going to have 2 cornerstones for that franchise. Maybe they one day will need to add another guy there, but I wouldn't put them in the elite future because I don't know how that team is going to look like around those 2 players in 5 years. And I mean, they have Time Lord as well, and maybe they do have an elite future because like Tatum is still so young, and same with Jaylen Brown. They might go up, but I'm going to keep them in really good. The Bucks, look, in like 5 years from now, I mean, like Giannis is still going to be in his prime. Middleton will be probably out of it. Same will Drew Holiday. All right, so they probably have an all right future. Like, yes, you have Giannis, and you're good right there. That puts you right in all right. But what's going to go on with Middleton, Brook Lopez, Drew Holiday? You'll have DiVincenzo, you have Jordan Noah, Grayson Allen maybe at that time. It's not like you have a lot of draft capital in those years as well because, like, I mean, I have it on my screen. But from that Drew Holiday trade, like, they don't own their first-round pick in 2023. They don't own it in 2025. They don't own it in 2027. So that is kind of brutal. And I think they're going to fall into that all right future, but they can definitely add more. Houston Rockets. I think they have a good future, but could add more. When I say they have a really good future, I mean, if we look at the Rockets, they still have some of those other picks from the James Harden trade. I mean, yeah, this year they're going to have multiple first-round picks, and they have like a first-round pick in 2023, 2024, that's not theirs. This year as well, 2025. I mean, they're going to lose some of the first-round picks from the Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul trade. But you know what? They probably have a really good future. Yeah, with Jalen Green, with Kenyon Martin Jr. Jayshawn Tate is still a little bit on the younger side. Şengün, Garuba, Josh Christopher, whoever they're going to add this year in the draft because they're going to have a top 5 pick in a pretty good draft class. I would say they have a really good future. Maybe it's a good future but could add more. But no, they have a lot of draft capital. I feel confident in it. So I might try to break up this tier at the end of this video. The Lakers, I would say, have an all right future. Like 5 years, I don't know if LeBron's going to be here. I don't know if Westbrook's going to be on the Lakers. You might still have AD. Like the Bucks might have Giannis. You have THT, who's young. I doubt Malik Monk's going to be on your team in 5 years. You lack draft capital from the AD trade. So, yeah, it's an all right future. In 5 years from now, I don't really know where they're going to be at. The Bulls, I would say, have a good future, but could add more just because, like, DeRozan's a little bit on the older side. Same with Vucevic. So, in 5 years, they could be just way out of their primes. Obviously, for DeRozan, Vuce probably as well. But Levine will be kind of entering it, which is very nice. Or he'll be, like, in the middle of it. You'll have Patrick Williams. I doubt Kobe White's going to be there in 5 years. They have their first round pick this year, not next year most likely. That will be from the Vucevic trade. But yeah, like they still have, and like Lonzo Ball, I think they have a good future, but they could definitely add more. Timberwolves. I mean, you have Cat, you have Ant. I mean, you have, I don't really trust Russell long term. You will have your first round pick this year. I mean, you have all your first round picks going forward. I would say they have a good future, but could add more. I mean, you have your cornerstones in Cat. I don't know. You have it in Cat and Ant, but I don't know what's going to happen with Cat, so I would say it's a little bit bleak on that outlook. I want to put the Blazers here, but now they're going to be in a questionable future. Just like Lillard's getting older, McCollum's getting older. In 5 years, they're going to be out of their primes. You don't have a good young... Like, you have Anthony Simons. That is your best young asset. You don't even own your first-round pick this year if you make the playoffs. So, they have a very questionable future, Portland, in my opinion. The Nets... I would say have a good future, but could add more. Because in 5 years, like KD and Harden or KD and Kyrie, at least 2 of those guys could still be there. I mean, maybe they develop, like Joe Harris will still be probably playing at an all right level. I mean, Aldridge and Millsap will be gone. But maybe Claxton, Daron Sharp, Cam Thomas, one of their first round picks down the line that they will have. Could be something. So I think they'll be... I think they're in a good future just because, like, KD should still be playing at an elite level in 5 years. I mean, he'll be 37. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I think they'll be fine. If they keep Kyrie, but who knows? Knicks. I think the Knicks have a good future as well. With RJ and, I mean, Randall will be in his early 30s. You have RJ, you have Mitch, quickly topping. You have those Mavericks, or that Mavericks pick in 2023. Who knows with Quinn and Grimes, big market. I think the Knicks have a good future, but you could add more. Thunder, elite future. I mean, the amount of draft capital they have over the next 5 years is utterly ridiculous. They have Josh Giddey, they have Shai Alexander, Gwen Stewart. They have 3 really good young players. Like, they just have picks from, I don't think the Detroit will convey, but they got picks from Phoenix, Clippers, Miami, Denver, Washington. They have a lot over the next 5 years. It's obviously we know, and with 3 young guys, I mean, like, they're going to be chilling. I mean, with Ja Morant and Triple J, who Triple J's not been fantastic this year, but with Ja, you have your first round picks. You have that Utah first. Like, you have Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Melton, who have been nice complementary pieces. I mean, I'm not really a fan of the Steven Adams trade at all. But, yeah, I mean, maybe Zaire Williams something for you, and you have your first. So I think the Grizzlies have a good future. Dallas, I mean, with Luka being at his age, you'll always have a really good future. So, yeah, that's basically what's getting them that placement up there. Spurs, I mean, I think they have an all right future. Like, who knows? They really need to hit on their draft picks because, yeah, Keldon Johnson and DeJounte Murray are really good. Could they be Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum good? I doubt it in 5 years. And then you're looking at your draft capital, which you have, but you need to hit on your picks. So you're really banking on you to hit on your picks, at least for these teams. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too high on the Knicks, but you'll still have KD, you'll have Levine, you'll have Fox, you'll have Ja. Like, these are really good guys. I mean, like, Murray, maybe I'm being a little bit mean to. So I don't know. We'll figure out the Spurs. The Suns with Booker, Bridges, and if they should bring back Aiden, oh my God, if they don't. But they have a really good future if they do. Clippers have an all right future. Maybe it's questionable with their draft picks and their old age roster. So, yeah, I think that's actually fair. Pistons have a good future but could add more. I mean, their young core has not been playing all that well this year, but it's a young core. So they're going to obviously have some inconsistencies. But with Cade, with their draft picks, I think they'll have a good future, but they could definitely add more. Toronto, same as well. No, I think they have a really good future. With Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, Gary Trent, their draft picks, yeah, if they can land a stud this year, they have a really good future. Cleveland, I think they have a really good future too. So I'm probably going to break up this tier. Philly, I think like Embiid, Maxey, we'll see what they get for Simmons. I think they have an all right future because like they don't have the best draft capital. They'll always be good with Embiid. Yeah, I think they got to figure it out like the Bucks eventually. Rosters are different, but you know what I mean. Nuggets, they have a really good future too because Jokic is still young. Murray, Porter Jr., they have a good future. Hornets, they have a really good future too. Washington, they have an all right future because like Avdia's been good on the defensive end this year. We'll see what happens with Kispert. We don't know what's happening with Beal. And they don't have, like, a young stud. So I think they have an all right future. I mean, the Hawks have, I think an elite future with Trae Young, Collins, Hunter, Reddish, Okongwu, Capella, and draft pick here and there. I think the Hawks have an elite future. In Miami, they have a questionable future, like an all right future, because we don't know what's going on with Jimmy. We don't know what's going or we do, but, 5 years from now, Jimmy, Lowry might be out of the league. Jimmy's going to be older. But they do have Bam and Tyler. So I think it's a good future. Okay, so let me see. I think I want to drop 2 or 3 of these teams down, or I can put them up. So if we're looking at elite futures, do I put any of those guys up top? I don't know. But I might drop it a good future, could add more. So I think the draft capital alone will keep New Orleans up here, Houston up here, the young players of Golden State and Orlando up here, and then the talent of Phoenix, Dallas, Boston up here. I think maybe Toronto will drop there. They just got to hit on their draft picks. And then, do I want to drop a team? I mean, LaMelo is so good where you got to put in really good future. Cleveland with Sexland, Mobley, yeah. And, yeah, I think maybe the Nuggets have an elite future. They lose a draft pick or 2 down the line, but you still have Jokic who will be in his prime still in 5 years. Porter Jr. hopefully stays healthy. Murray, obviously, you would want him to stay healthy. Maybe they make a big move. I think they have an elite future as well. And yeah, I think this is what I'm going to do. Maybe I'm too harsh on Utah, Portland, or LA. Let me know down below. Maybe I could put San Antonio up there. Maybe I'm being too harsh on Minnesota. But I don't know. These teams need to hit on their draft picks, and you're not going to hit on your draft picks. There's some good drafting teams. like the Boston Celtics, like the Lakers have been, like maybe the Memphis Grizzlies, Boston Celtics. But yeah, maybe not the Celtics as of late, but they obviously were at one point. But yeah, you can let me know down below because teams can definitely work on draft picks. So yeah, no team in the Billy King future. I hope you guys did enjoy. Job like if you did, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.